Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Harihi Om.
That which we call the outer world is perfect. This which we call the inner world is perfect. Each one filled with divine consciousness. Perfect comes from perfect. Take perfect from perfect. The remainder is perfect. Divine consciousness is non-dual. Anything that emerges from the divine consciousness is whole, is complete, is Purna. May peace and peace and peace be everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Purnamadah. And this week, this is episode 7, season 4 of Purnamadah that we are going to be seeing today. And with us today, we have one of our youngest participants in the batch that year, which was in 2018. And she's Khushbu Grover.
Hello,
And Khushbu
everyone.
was only 26 when she came into this program of ours in the workshop of therapist training in Rishikesh. And since then, we have watched the journey of Khushbu and we have seen her grow only. And today, we can proudly say that Khushbu is a past life therapist. She's a tarot card reader. She's into personality and face reading. And she's a art therapist. And along with that, she's also a teacher in a Delhi based private school teaching children in English from standard 9th till 12th. So, Khushbu, welcome to the show and
Thank you so much for inviting me, ma'am.
welcome,
Thanks a
ma'am.
lot. Thank you.
Wow, that was fantastic, Abhilasha. Khushbu, my dear, you are looking radiant.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And
It's good to see you after so
yeah, good to see
long.
you too. And I'm surprised you were only 26 when you came for the training. I mean, I knew
Yeah,
you were the youngest, but I didn't know your age
yeah.
then. So, Khushbu, at 26, I mean, why would you want to learn past life therapy?
Actually, ma'am, it's a long journey. So basically, it is started the desire to go into this particular field. Everything related to past life started the moment I saw your show for the first time, Ras Pichle Janam Ka. So me and my entire family used to watch that show, and our timings used to be fixed. And I still remember at that time, even my father had written one application to that show because
Oh,
he wanted to be one of the participants. But unfortunately, then season got over, so he never got the chance. Like he had a lot of, curious things going on, dreaming about so many things, and he felt that it was mainly connected to past life. So your show was something something which introduced us about this particular idea. And then eventually I started doing a bit of research and everything. Then I read few books of like Dr. Brian Weiss, and Only Love is Real, Messages from Master. So those things generated my curiosity. Then in 2016 I got my own regression done,
Okay.
and a lot of things became clear. And that was the time when I had decided in 2016 that I want to be a PLR therapist, because I could see the positive changes in me,
Hmm.
and I wanted to help people, because I know how it feels when sometimes wrong things happen to you and you have no idea why, because the root cause lies in your previous life, in your past karmas. So that was one of the reasons. And luckily in 2018 I got your messages and all, that you are going to have therapist training program, and then I got in touch with Abhilasha ma'am and Shirja ma'am, and I was there.
Wow.
So
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Khushbu, being just so young at the age of 24, when you entered into the program and you came for your
Yeah,
personal therapy, your
yeah,
personal
yeah,
healing.
yeah.
So when you popped up the idea in front of your family,
Hmm.
what was their reaction?
Ma'am, first of all, they were surprised. Like, I told my mom that this is something I want to do. And first of all, I got my PLR done. And when I came back, then I told them that this is what I had been up to.
Hmm.
Frankly speaking, their response was quite positive, because they themselves wanted to get there done.
Correct.
Because, ma'am, in my family, I have an elder sister, younger brother, parents, and they all had been following your program since day one, Ras Pichle Janam Ka. So we
Okay.
had the belief,
Hmm.
and that is why they had been very supportive. So when I told them that I want to go into this particular line, although, ma'am, there are so many people who might believe or might not believe, my family was the one who always encouraged that yes, you should definitely go. And then they were next level happy. Oh, you are going to meet Dr. Tripti Jain, okay, the one who used to come in that.
Oh,
So mama was
sweet.
like, go and get a lot of pictures with ma'am, and learn everything, share your ideas. So their reaction was very positive. And currently, my mother has started studying astrology, like proper course she is
Hmm.
doing. She is
Hmm.
55 and now she has started it.
Hmm.
So she had always been full of encouraging that, yes, pursue your dreams. There were people who were like, no, it's the marriage age, this and that. But my mother
Ah.
had always been into make your career first. You want to heal people, you want to go into such a pious line, you go for it. Shadiyan sabki ho jati hain, don't worry.
Wow, what a
Wow.
positive message.
So
But tell me, Khushbu, like Abhilasha ne bataya that you're also a teacher.
yes, ma'am.
So, as a teacher and now as a past life therapist and interested in
Yeah.
spirituality, when you deal with children, has your approach changed, or do you deal with them differently than others in your school?
Ma'am, I have been teaching since last 5.5 years. But in last 2.5 years, I have seen some positive changes in me. First of all, I have started understanding human behavior more. Because at times, because teaching children means dealing with 200 different humans every day.
True.
And now I have become a bit more full of understanding that maybe if a child is going through some any trouble, maybe he has some person issue which he is not able to share.
Mm,
So my perspective got a bit broader once I got into healing and all.
mm,
The way you understand someone, the way you understand your parallel teachers, the way you understand your work. So after healings and all, after therapist training program, my perspective has become a bit wider. So that has made me a bit more positive person, how to accept everything. And then sometimes the first thing which I learned was, which even you always taught us, the lesson of forgiveness. Because sometimes a lot of things happen which don't go according to us in professional life, personal life, everywhere. But when you are following the key of forgiveness, things become on the right track. So the entire training helped me not only in my professional life but personal life also. So yes, definitely I can see the changes.
that's lovely.
Yeah.
Lucky children. Lucky
Yeah.
children to have you as a teacher. That's so beautiful.
Thank you
So,
so much,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
huh?
because I also feel that in the program also, and Khushbu would also agree, where you are teaching inner child, where you
Yes,
are doing those art therapy, crayon therapy,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
understand that how much a child might be going through. They might not be expressing
absolutely.
it.
yeah,
So I think, Khushbu,
absolutely.
I think you're taking a right blend of of it both.
Yes, and I think Abhilasha, that's a very valid thing you have said, that in our the way we train our all of them who come for the training is we give them a little bit of psychology, a little bit of artwork, a little
Absolutely.
bit of inner child, so that they can deal not only with themselves but also with people who come into their lives. And you as a
Right, ma'am.
teacher, Khushbu, obviously has a lot of responsibility to deal with the children. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Khushbu, obviously, this is like a past life program, as we know. So, tell us, what was your past life?
Okay, ma'am, I had witnessed a few glimpses of my life, but let me share one of them, which was the most prominent. So basically, I had a personal issues where I was not very open in receiving love, even from my own family. Something used to stop me, and I was a very, like sitting in a cocoon, closed in a cocoon. It was like that.
Mm,
So when I got my past life regression done, I saw that I was in London, and the parents I had in that lifetime. So my
mm,
mother ended up leaving me because she had divorced with her husband. So I was a child who had been deprived of motherly love in that
mm,
lifetime,
mm,
and that created a huge,
Natural.
huge bubble of sadness in my life, where
mm,
I stopped believing in love because that particular child in that lifetime had been betrayed by her own mother. So maybe that energy got carried here also. That's the explanation which I got
mm.
to know. And then it was London, and I died in 1988. So everything had been very clear to me, and a lot of things were quite relatable. Like in that life, I had seen myself because I grew up to be a child without mother in that lifetime.
Mm.
So in that lifetime, I started to do good for orphans in that lifetime. And I don't know how, ma'am, magically one more thing came in this life as well. Since 2014, I have been associated to an orphanage. And every month I go over there. And on every Christmas, I go there dressed as Santa Claus and I give them gifts.
That's so sweet, Khushbu.
Thank you so much,
You
ma'am.
actually do that. You dress up as Santa
Every
Claus and
yeah.
you go and distribute sweets to all the orphan. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's so beautiful. I mean, I think that is it really. This is so wonderful. So Khushbu, I mean, you're an example of somebody who,
Thank you,
though
ma'am.
has suffered in a past life, has not carried the suffering in a way, but has carried gratitude
Absolutely,
and
ma'am.
is
That's the
trying
word.
to show love to abandoned children.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Like a victim is not a victim all the time, Abhilasha,
No, you can always
right?
change
A
your
I'm
name.
victim can turn a rescuer.
Yes.
You're playing the role of a rescuer now. And that's lovely. Very nice.
Thank
So,
you
Khushbu,
so much,
after
ma'am.
this past life that you saw, where you saw that your mother had abandoned you, and you said that you were
Yeah.
not accepting your family's love in this lifetime.
Hmm.
So, after the past life, how did things change? Did you find yourself changing?
Yeah, definitely. Because, ma'am, the energy which I had carried, it got converted into love. And like forgiveness is the key, the art of forgiveness was taught to me magically with that therapy. So I
Hmm.
just forgave everyone. I had to forgive everyone from that lifetime, from, I don't know, angelic realms, spirits, whatever it is. I decided to forgive everyone. So that past life regression therapy turned out to be such a magical boon to me. Ma'am, I was even afraid of hugging, but when
Ah.
I had that kind of fear. So once I got my regression therapy done, I became more loving towards my family. I started accepting love, and love from everywhere. Sometimes it happens that children give you cards on birthdays or on Teachers Day,
Hmm.
and friends, they gift you something. Earlier, I was very reluctant that you are allowed to talk to me, but you are not allowed to express your love towards me. But
Correct.
after past life regression therapy, the love inside me grew more, and I started to accept it. So past life
Wow.
regression therapy in 2016 November, I even remember the month also. In last 4 years, it had been a boon to me, ma'am. And then later on in 2018, when I myself became a PLR therapist, that positivity kept on increasing, and today I'm really contented with life. So forgiveness, gratitude, love, these are the three things which I have started to practice, and life is really beautiful, magical.
So that's so beautiful, Abhilasha. I mean, everybody who's listening to Khushbu can see the glow on her face. And not only that, at such a young age, when you get rid of your past life sanskaras or vasanas, as they call these, like even the fact that she was suffering, she got rid of that suffering, and now she can live her life the way she's supposed to live in this lifetime.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, what will happen? You'll carry that suffering, and then you'll continue being a victim all your life till one fine day, maybe you find past life therapy at the age of 50 or 60. And then you'll feel, oh my God, it's so late, right? So just like Khushbu at a young age did something like this, I think it's going to motivate youngsters, young people, less than the age of 30, to come forward and do past life therapy, and then maybe find the right partner in their life,
Absolutely.
find love in their life, learn to express, accept hugs. I mean, this is basic to live a loving life. That's
Ma'am,
so nice.
I always feel that even in our workshops where we have had such youngsters coming, Pune se the, and we have had such young girls, young people who have joined our workshops,
Yes.
and we see the transformation in them. And sometimes, ma'am, we feel कि we also started our journey so late, 30, 31, 32. अगर हमारे पास opportunity होता to start early, we would have really have had more years of living this life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, Abhilasha, live a life of, gratitude that, okay, you have a lovely family, doesn't matter if you don't get along with them, or somebody is not as good as you'd like them to be, yet you can foster a nice relationship with them and not carry hurt and resentment. And that's what Khushbu is trying to tell us.
Definitely,
And that's
ma'am.
awesome, Khushbu. So when
Thank
you
you,
came for the training, I know it was a big group. I remember in 2018 with a very
2018.
large group.
Yeah.
And I remember you, Khushbu, sitting, I think, on the second or third row, and and you're so tall. I mean, people can't see you, but I know how tall you are. So I think I remember, and you were so curious and so interested in everything that I was saying, at that time. So tell me something about any other lifetime that you have gone through, which has been equally, powerful or equally revealing for you.
Okay, ma'am, my personal experience
Yeah.
or
Any
one,
any
okay.
other personal experience you've had?
Okay, ma'am, in one of my lives, I had seen that. So basically, I saw that I was a nurse and there was this particular doctor. And this particular doctor used to kill patients by suffocating them.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that was quite scary because at times this particular doctor, although it was just a glimpse of that lifetime,
Mm.
so this particular person used to just suffocate few patients and he used to kill them. And I was a nurse and I
Mm.
wished to stop, but I never took any major decision to
Mm.
stop that doctor because even
Mm.
I was scared.
Mm.
And in this particular lifetime, that person is connected to me, but that person is a female now. You can say one relative.
Mm-hmm.
So that because it's easy to recognize person by looking in the eyes. So I
Correct.
could make out that the doctor of that lifetime is a female relative in this lifetime. And ma'am, in this lifetime, she has claustrophobia.
Oh,
So maybe
wow.
because she herself had been suffocating patients, that karma got carried in this lifetime. And now she
Right.
has claustrophobia, but then some people do not wish to get healed. They do not accept. This is such a magical thing, ma'am. Not everyone can accept it.
No, Khushbu, the thing is
So
that she
maybe
doesn't want to be healed because she has to punish herself.
quite
So the
possible.
claustrophobia is there with her, and maybe in this entire lifetime, she may never get healed of claustrophobia because she is punishing herself for the acts that she did in her previous lifetime, Khushbu.
True,
So it's
true.
okay if she doesn't want to be healed. There will come a time in her life when she will finish whatever, as much amount of punishment, like the kind of quantum of punishment, right, has to be equal to the amount that you have made others suffer. So
Right.
till that is kind of, what should I say, kind of equalized,
Hmm.
right?
Not
People, there are many people, as we know, Abhilasha, and we see so many people. There are people who will continue suffering, though you tell them, I'm sure that, like I get a lot of calls from people saying, ma'am, I had your number for the last 10 years, but I want to come now for the therapy. So for 10 years, what were they doing? They actually had to suffer that many years before they can get out of that suffering. So with that particular person who's having claustrophobia, she has to go through that period of suffering because, she can't get out easily after what
So,
she did in her
ma'am,
past
can we
life.
say it is her soul learning lesson? It is
Yes,
her. Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, Khushbu and Abhilasha, suffering is a great teacher.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah? When you suffer, you seek.
Right.
So suffering itself is a very big teacher in life. So maybe she is learning through suffering. So that's all right. You don't have to feel upset about the fact that you are a PLR therapist and your own relative is suffering and you can't help that relative. No,
Yeah.
you will be helped when her time comes. इसलिए कहते हैं ना कि जब वक्त आता है तब आपकी दिशा चेंज होती है, वरना तब
True,
तक
ma'am.
आपको
Ma'am,
उसी चीज में रहना पड़ता है.
True.
Ma'am, यहाँ पे, just for our viewers to understand, because me and Khushbu, we have of course learned it from you about how soul groups are there, ma'am. That is so interesting for people. Like Khushbu was a nurse for this doctor in her past life, and this lifetime, the same soul group comes in different forms.
Yes.
Right.
Ma'am, so if you can talk about soul groups a little here today,
Yeah.
for
So
people to understand.
Abhilasha and Khushbu, like let's say in this lifetime, you are married or you have 2, 3 children and you have a mother-in-law and a father-in-law and a sister-in-law and a large family. Okay. Now everybody in that family may not be close to you, but they must have come to you in some lifetime in different roles.
Right.
So these different roles play themselves out. So in one lifetime, maybe you're very close, a close-knit family, and you learned a lot of lessons. In another lifetime, maybe 1 or 2 people with whom you needed to like refine your lessons are still closer, and the rest of them are there on the periphery. They are not that close to you. So this is how soul groups function, and then you keep coming back. So you may have a friendly soul group, like friends. So maybe in some lifetime, your bestest friend was your mother. And there was a lot of love and a lot of care that you had with each other. And it was fulfilling. So in this lifetime, your mother now becomes your best friend
Okay.
because the refinement is over. But you still want that soul close by, right? So he said, yeah, don't be my mommy, but at least be my best friend. So the soul becomes your best friend. Now, in another lifetime, because with the best friend also, the kind of interaction that you're having is fulfilling, and you have to keep moving, keep learning. So in another lifetime, you'll say, yeah, oh, I know you've like exhausted, your best friend role and your role of your mommy. So can you be my mother-in-law? So that way, what happens with the mother? You had an intimate relationship starting day one,
Right.
right? With your best friend, you had an intimate relationship starting maybe age 16 or age 30. With now the next role that the soul is playing of your mother-in-law, the relationship will be maybe at 30.
30 or 31.
Right.
So
Right.
this is how the soul group members will come in your life. Not that the soul group member will come on day one. As lifetimes continue, the soul group with whom you had a fulfilling relationship, like come later and later and later in your life. Like let us say Abhilasha, Shrija, and me, right?
Yeah.
We met when I was much older,
Yeah.
right? And why? Because maybe I and the 2 little ones maybe were there together in some lifetime, right? But now they have to learn different lessons, and I will be there in their lifetime only at a certain age when possibly they need me the most.
Right.
And
So
we needed you the
that's
most, ma'am. That's
right. So that's really how that soul mate comes back to you, and that is how your soul group keeps growing. So at every few years, a soulmate enters your life, and your soul group then starts getting complete. like all of us, like all my students are all
Yes.
my dear friends now, right? Many of them are my friends. So many of my students are my age, all right? And it's wonderful because now we have this whole group of
Yeah.
people who talk only positive things to each other, right?
Right.
And there is this beautiful energy that flows within all of us. So, this is how a soul group can be formed, and how soulmates should be viewed. People have this idea of only romantic soulmate. Soulmate
Hmm.
means romance. That's not true. That
Right.
is a that is like a romantic soulmate, right? But soulmates are people who move you in your life, who teach you in your life. There can be a soulmate who's going to be reprimanding you also,
Mm.
right? I mean, you as a school teacher can sometimes reprimand a child for the
Right.
betterment of the child.
Right.
Now, that child, as he grows up and moves out of school, will not forget you,
Hmm.
though you may have reprimanded him. Okay? Because at some stage, he will realize it was for my betterment. That
Right.
man used to shout at me. So
Right.
don't think soulmates are only caring, loving,
Loving
affectionate.
and romantic.
They
Yeah.
can be reprimanding, they can be angry, they can, because you're not learning the lesson. What the hell does the soulmate do? Yeah, so that's called a Zen master,
Hmm.
right? A Zen master is somebody who stands with a stick, who kicks you also and says, come on, move.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So soulmates can come in different forms and soul groups can be created beautifully also.
Right.
Lovely. So thank you, Abhilasha, for that question. Okay, and I love when actually she comes and anchors because she always comes up with some interesting
Great
questions.
questions.
And best is that we don't discuss questions, so it's all on the spot,
On the
which
spot.
is
From
really nice for us. Yeah. So Kushbu, now tell us something about your clients. Come on, I'm sure you must have seen a couple of clients. So
Ye-
so Kushbu, when do you see clients? Because you're busy the whole week.
so, ma'am, nowadays, because of pandemic, I haven't got much opportunity to heal people. But
Mm,
because I had already taken this great lesson 2 years ago,
mm,
so in previous 1 year, I had a lot of opportunities to heal a lot of people.
lovely.
And once I come back from my school, I have the entire evening. So that's how I utilize my time, sometimes on weekdays, sometimes on weekend, after checking my schedule. The best thing is that all the I have conducted more than 15 to 17 PLR sessions, and all of them have been extremely successful.
Lovely.
And
super.
Thumbs up to
yeah,
you. Very nice.
yeah, because what happens once you are helping someone, once you are healing someone, as a therapist, we have a desire to help the other person.
Yes.
And when we are not able to help, we feel bad. We feel, are we not good enough to help the other person who is suffering? So, by God's grace, by universe's grace, I never had to experience that thing. I was able to help all of them successfully. There had been many interesting cases, and some of them even got verified. So, thanks to Google and other
Wow.
resources. I would like to share one experience. So, basically, there was this married girl, married lady who came to me. Ma'am, her issue involved two things. First was acrophobia, that is the fear of height, and the second one was birthmark. She had birthmark on the left side of her navel. So she always used to wonder, why do I have birthmark? I'm not even able to wear a sari and I feel very awkward. So she just simply said, and another thing is she could not go in the flights. Why? Because of acrophobia.
Mm,
She cannot even stand in the balcony of first floor.
mm,
So when I did her regression, we found out that somewhere in 1960s she lived in Mumbai and she was one of the men working in some tall building. Unfortunately, earthquake came, and this man, and she could even identify the name Rajesh Sharma. So it was a
okay.
beautiful session. She, and in this life she does not know anyone this name, anyone with the same name.
Mm,
So she saw that the entire building is about to get collapsed, and the moment the building fell down, she, who was a male at that time, the man fell on a gate which had iron rods,
oh,
and the iron rod stuck in the navel. And ma'am, when I was doing her regression, when she was witnessing the scene of earthquake, her body started to shake. So
No,
that was an
yes.
incredible thing to see, that the body is shaking. Why? Because the building is collapsing.
Mm.
And later on, what happened then? So this was, we got to know the reason why she has these kind of phobias. After that, ma'am, what happened? She jumped to some other lifetime. So that was a bit surprising for me. And what she saw, that in that lifetime, she is again a married woman, and she has a loving husband. Now this particular husband, so okay, so she was a married woman, and this husband was a very loving and caring person. And once she went out for some work in the village, and then she came back,
Mm.
and then she noticed her house was on fire. The
Okay.
house was on fire, and this particular man died. And ma'am, she could recognize the same person in this lifetime also. It's her husband. And ma'am, he has pyrophobia, and pyrophobia is the fear of fire.
Oh,
So
wow.
even though she was not looking for any solution for her husband, but magically she jumped to that lifetime, and she got the solution for her husband also. She got to know why in this particular lifetime her husband is so afraid of fire, because in that some ABC lifetime, the husband had died of fire, and he has very strong pyrophobia. He cannot enjoy festivals like Lohri and all because
Ah,
of fire. So
okay. And after that session, did you check with her whether her husband's fear has reduced?
yes, ma'am, definitely. The husband has, because I am in touch with her. Sometimes
Hmm.
she texts me or call me at time.
Hmm.
First of all, now whenever she takes any flight, she is not that afraid. She
Okay,
is
so
more confident.
acrophobia is gone. I
Yeah,
mean, that's reduced.
up to a major extent it has gone, up
Okay,
to a major
okay.
extent. And when it
Hmm.
comes to husband,
Hmm.
husband is a bit more confident. Like he is not that afraid of fire. It's like that. At least he can enjoy the festivals. And most of the time she is there to hold his arm. So they are
Very nice. So,
love, encourage each
so
other.
Abhilasha, can you see? I mean, she went through the process, and in the
Yeah,
bargain, she went through a lifetime where she and her husband were together. The husband's fear, so the husband is not going through the therapy,
right.
but the
Yeah.
husband's fear also started to reduce. That is how a soulmate connection is. That
Mhm.
what we see is kind of resonance,
Mm.
right? You're going through something, and somebody who's connected to you at the same frequency also experiences the
Also
healing.
getting healed.
So
Yeah.
that's the law of resonance
Yeah.
functioning in a past life session. Very
Uh, I,
nice.
I had handled her case, I guess, 1.5 years ago, and things have been really good. And then we checked on Google as well. So
Okay.
actually, 1967, one earthquake had occurred in Mumbai, somewhere near river area. So there are images also. So when she looked
Really?
at the images, yeah, ma'am, there are images also. So when she looked at the images, she could recognize, she could realize, because ma'am, frankly speaking, all of us do not remember all the earthquakes which had happened. But
67, so you were not even born at
I
that time.
wasn't
How would
even
you
born.
know?
But this girl, she could identify that this is year 1965, 67 something, and earthquake is taking place, and it is definitely Mumbai. And I'm shaking, and now I'm about to fall down, and it is scary. And later on, when we checked, in reality,
History.
we found that yes, there are images also. So it was a
Wow.
verified thing, and
Fantastic.
this made her more confident.
Lovely.
Right.
I'm sure,
Very
Khushbu, this
nice.
kind of experiences would have also made you more confident as a
Yeah,
healer.
definitely, definitely. Although,
So
ma'am,
please
there are
Yes.
share, Khushbu, now, we are more intrigued to know more past life
Yes.
sessions of yours.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, actually, I had conducted all of them long ago, but let me share one more. So basically, this is one of my old colleague. She wanted a kind of help. Majorly, she used to have hatred towards men. You can call her someone, who was always a man hater. And she felt never good whenever she was surrounded by the energy of any man. And then she had fear of blood.
Okay.
So, in her past life session, she saw that she was going to some other country, and she was going somewhere to Cape Town. And then, as the session progressed, she saw herself crying in a church because she had lost her father. And I asked her to identify the church. So she said, Mary Cat something, Mary Cat. And she could recognize the church, but she could not read the name properly. Then the session further continued, and then she saw that few of her cousins, few of her cousins were running after her to molest her. And then she immediately jumped from a cliff and she committed suicide, and she could see a lot of blood around her dead body.
Mm.
So that was the reason why she carried the energy of hatred towards men, because first her father left her, then
Mm.
secondly her own cousins tried to molest her, and then
Mm.
fear of blood. And the moment she witnessed the scene that she is dying, she started to feel that pain here also, right in front of me. So I
Mm.
had to give her on the spot light energy, healing energy, and the pain was suppressed.
Mm.
And when she got up, she felt really good. She told me, I feel very light, as if a huge burden has gone out of me. And after
Yes.
that, she became a bit positive towards men because she got to know the reason. She did her forgiveness sadhana. And later on, because she got too curious, so she started to check all the churches and everything.
Mm.
So there was one particular church in the Google image which she could recognize. So when she did more research, she could
Mm.
identify it was Saint Mary Cathedral Church of white color. And the
Wow.
same
Mm.
church, although ma'am, she had never been to Cape Town, she have never gone out of India, and she is not even that kind of a person who loves to travel. So she has no
Mm.
idea about all these foreign countries and all.
Mm.
But this particular experience, where she could identify the church from her past life, she had never seen the picture, she had no idea, no relative in that origin, still she could make out that this is what it is, and she got the solutions, and after that she became a bit light-hearted, we can say.
Ah,
So that was a
right.
beautiful experience.
Lovely. My God.
Yeah,
Khushbu. Yeah.
yeah.
So I can only, I'm feeling so good today, Abhilasha, that Khushbu came, she learned in 7 days, and
Yeah.
she not only is doing the work, but everybody's benefiting. That's awesome, Khushbu. Lovely.
One more interesting case I would like to
Yes.
share, that is,
Yes.
ma'am, amexophobia. Amexophobia is fear of sitting in a car.
Okay.
So when we are into healing, we get to know so much. I
So
never
many
knew that
names.
even,
So many
yeah,
names. Yeah.
I never knew that maybe this kind of fear can also exist. So when I got the case of this girl that I am so afraid of sitting in a car, I can't sit in a car, cab, private car, anything. So I told her, okay, I gave her the pre-work, I analyzed her entire, all the answers and everything.
History, yeah.
So
Hmm.
she saw herself that in her previous life, she was born in New York, and she and her entire family were crossing a particular bridge in New York, and accident occurred. So
Oh,
that energy got carried in this life, that she is so afraid of sitting in a car. So
Wow.
we got to know. And after the session, she was a bit more positive, and not immediately, but after 1 month, 2 months, at least she can sit in the car comfortably. She doesn't get scared. Like
Yeah.
today, she can sit even without wearing a seat belt.
That's good. That's great. Great
Yeah,
success. So yeah, so what
yeah,
Khushbu is saying is very important, friends, that after a session, maybe a month, month and a half, 2 months, it may take for the fear or the
it takes time.
problem to go away. So don't
right.
expect like, oh, I've done past life therapy today and tomorrow itself I'm going to sit in the car. Maybe it will take some time for the energy
Time.
to start shifting, and so then maybe you can sit in the car and the fear will slowly go away, right? So it is a miracle even if after 1 month she's able to sit in the car, right? So friends, miracle happen, but be patient after you do past life therapy. Don't just say अरे कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, नहीं होगा. आप थोड़ा पेशेंस रखेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा. Lovely,
Definitely.
Khushbu. Your experiences with your clients are just awesome.
Khushbu, I just wanted to know that since you have been into these therapies now and these modalities, healing modalities, what is your way plan ahead for yourself? And what do you plan to, what is your way plan ahead that you want to intend? I mean, since this is also for all the young people who are watching this show, or for parents who have got young kids and who they want to put in the right path. So, what is your message for them as a person?
Ma'am, first of all, there are few things the message which I want to give to people. First of all, start believing in miracles. The sufferings which you have in this lifetime, those sufferings are a result of something. People complain all the time, I am such a good person, I never deserved all this. First thing is to find the key. If your time is right, like ma'am said, time is a big factor. If your time is right, if the energies around you are right, find out the reason. Complaining will not help. We all are given a lot of opportunities in our life to take a new path. Either you can face it or you can just stay afraid. Personally, I wanted to go my regression. I wanted to get my regression done because it was really difficult to live in a cocoon. So I gave myself a chance to heal. So the people, if they feel that yes, they wish to give that chance, they should definitely go for it. Be a bit more open-minded. Believe in miracles. Time is a biggest factor. If some people are suffering and they are not able to heal themselves, it's because it is written in their soul learning lesson. So, according to me, people should practice forgiveness. They should be a bit more open-minded. They should find the solution. Start working towards solution instead of complaining. Because at
Right.
the end of the day, we are the same souls. We all are the souls walking together in different forms. So this is the message I would like to give to the people. And for my own career plan, like whatever you asked, what I wish to do in future, definitely, ma'am, I am every now and then I keep on checking out new therapies, and because all these therapies are magical therapies. Once a person is positive from heart, I think everything falls into right places. So my plan is to learn more and more healing therapies. Like this recently, I had been reading about batch flower therapies and switch words and then law of attraction. So all these things make us believe that yes, there is some power which is taking care of all of us. All we need is to be a bit more independent in our thought process and give this beautiful life a chance to surprise us. So
Wow, I love
like
that.
ma'am said,
Give life a
yeah.
chance to surprise us. That is a beautiful statement.
And ma'am,
Beautiful.
like you said, either you can be a victim or you can turn out to be a rescuer, the way ma'am said just, few minutes ago. So I think it's always good to be a rescuer, not only for yourself, but others who are connected to you. So,
So,
Abhilasha,
ma'am,
last words from you.
finally, I would like to say, summarize this entire thing with Khushbu is she came, she learned, and she healed. So,
absolutely
ma'am.
right, on point. Right,
And
ma'am.
the
Absolutely.
best thing is, ki, ma'am, she gave herself, the way she has said that, and ma'am, you concluded there that everybody, there is a time, divine timing written for everyone, with the
Absolutely.
timing that has to match with our soul contract, our life purpose. And when the time is right, we all will get healed. And as Khushbu also rightly said, the soul is the same for everyone. The soul is same. There is no disparity of, religion, caste, creed. The soul is the same. The energies are the same. We just have to understand the energies and move in the right direction and move forward and meet our soulmates when the paths they
Yeah,
cross up and
cross.
grow with them together. So
Thank
Right.
thank
you.
you so
Lovely,
much, Dr.
Abhilasha.
Jain and
Thank you,
Khushbu.
Khushbu.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am. Thank you
Khushbu,
so
for
much
Thank
for
you
coming.
for
inviting
this
me.
Thank
wonderful
you,
episode.
Thank
Abhilasha.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते